FM.
The Morning Drive, we've been talking GITEX for the last hour, rounding up some of the events of day one, some of the events of day two as well, and looking at some of the initiatives, hearing from some of the participants. It would be impossible to talk to them all. There are 25 halls of stands and dignitaries and experts and all kinds of creative and scientific thinkers. Just some of them this morning on the Morning Drive. AI and digital transformation is kind of the theme that we're going to, I think, continue with now as GITEX is ongoing. Expand North Star 2025 is the world's largest event for startups and investors, as GITEX is the world's largest tech exhibition. Expand North Star 2025 marks its 10th edition, 12th to the 15th of October at Dubai Harbour. One of the guys at the event is Ayman Itani. He's the founder of Think Media Lab, and he's with me. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Tim.
Very nice to have you here. You're very welcome. Now, let's start with you. According to your website, you are an entrepreneur, you're a public speaker, you're a digital strategist, you're a content creator. You are also a proud father. So from that, I'm trying to say you're pretty busy, Ayman. What did you originally set out to do of those things?
Well, Tim, you know how it is. We get started and then we add one layer at a time. And then before you know it, you look back and there are so many layers that you've built over the years, some intentional, some not intentional. And here we are.
So it's kind of the onion thing. I'm unpeeling the layers here and trying to get to it. It's almost as though you start something and you get sidetracked. Oh, I'm enjoying this. I'm going to add this to my resume. Let's move on to GITEX. I think we've set who you are. It's final 45th year at DWTC, 10th year, as I said, at Dubai Harbour for Expand North Star. Overall, just your opinion, you've been involved in tech for some years. I won't say how long. You're a young-looking man, but just your thoughts on GITEX this year so far.
So with GITEX and Expand North Star, every year it gets bigger. So let's look at Expand North Star, for example. I've been attending every year.
Okay.
And every year it's bigger and bigger. Bigger in terms of more people attending, more booths, more desks, more startups, more investors, a lot more activities around it. So that comes from intent of making it bigger, providing more value to attendees, to participants. And that's a sign for me that there's intent to grow this and contribute to the economy. And it's a public event, it's a free event. And I can notice the attendees, they're a combination of people who are deep in tech. So they've been doing tech for a very long time. In addition to other industries that are more on the traditional non-tech part, but they want to tech enable their businesses. So they attend and participate and listen to speakers and partner with companies there. There are more than 13,000 pre-arranged meetings there. So a lot of business and opportunity comes through Expand North Star.
It does.
When you look at GITEX as well, it's the 45th year and it's going to move even to a bigger space together with Expand North Star to the lovely expo area. And so I'm speaking at GITEX. I was there as well yesterday and the day before. Busy. So many people that are there. And what I like about those events, Tim, is if you've been in the industry for a while, it's like a great way to catch up with people in the industry. Everybody's in their own office, behind their own keyboards. This brings everybody together, and you're able to see them and catch up on who's doing what. Second, you keep an eye on what are new technology trends coming up, what are new topics that people are speaking about and curious about. What stands are nicer, bigger, better, who's spending more money, who has bigger teams, who has newer announcements coming up. So there is a lot to be done at GITEX, and there's a lot of excitement. Many people mentioned to me that, did you know that it's going to move to Expand to Expo next year, both GITEX and Expand North Star? So for them to point that out, for it to resonate with them, and for them to point it out to others, that means there are a lot of things going right.
It's interesting that you use that word intent, because that kind of sums things up, I think, for an event like this. There are loads and loads of events in Dubai's calendar, but GITEX is at the moment perhaps front and center, because it's that phrase of digital transformation I mentioned earlier. We are in the technology age, and GITEX offers, I guess, proof of intent, doesn't it?
The reason I focus on intent, Tim, is that I participate at a lot of events, either as a speaker or a moderator or an attendee, or supporting one of my government clients. And you can see the differences when there are certain events that are there as a pure business model. Speakers on stage, sponsors to make the money, enough people to make it look busy and to please the sponsors. So that's, that's their business model.
Yeah.
But with many other ones like GITEX and Expand North Star, a lot of it has to do with, definitely there's a business model there, but a lot of it has to do with value to participants, because they look at what can they do for the Emirates, what can they do for people who want to move here, the businesses that are here that want to grow, people who want to, from around the world who are visiting Dubai for these events to learn how to come into the country. What can they do here? What segments are they here? A lot of people want to know what's happening next, so they attend these speakers. There are so many high-profile speakers that are participating. So that comes from intent to provide that value to more people. And also what GITEX has been doing is it's been expanding globally. They've announced also a few more locations as well this year on a global scale. A few years ago, it was only a handful of cities globally. Now it's a nice long list of that intent and business direction and growth that has been exported to other countries. I know when it came to one of the GITEX in the global areas is one of the people a few people that I know there in that continent. They said they were so happy that such an event came because it brought in the Dubai way of doing business. Registration, email confirmations, speaker list, agendas, a tightly run ship, events in the evening, meetings, investors, and so on. It's usually what they're probably used to is just a random, barely structured event. This brought in the Dubai way of doing business as well. So that stood out for me.
I mean, this is the daddy, isn't it, of events here? It really is. I use that term kind of unreservedly. Let me ask you, what's in your mind at the show this year? What's your kind of lead topic, if you like?
You remind me of a discussion I had with a friend yesterday. He was asking me, should I come? What do I do? And what do you recommend I come or so on? I said, look, if you have a plan, it's great to come. So just randomly coming in, you're not taking advantage of everything that's there. So I gave you the example for me, for example, I'm publishing a report on popular AI use cases in government. What have good impact, what to keep an eye on because they have strong potential down the line as they grow. And I have that as a specific plan in mind. So when visiting GITEX, I look at the government organizations who's publicizing what AI use case, and I have an angle coming in. I know what I'm looking for, and I have those conversations and able to identify the right people there. And in only a few days, my team and I have made a lot of progress towards identifying AI use cases for such a report. So this is an example of if you have something very specific to come in to, you'll be able to do so. Another example, there was somebody who asked for my support on a few things before. I met with her a few weeks ago, and she told me that last year she came into GITEX going from booth to booth. She wants to move to the UAE. She was based in the UK. She wants to move to the UAE, and that was her prime objective of this. So she went around GITEX trying to find the right people, the right organizations. She gave away her resume, her business card. She had good conversations with people. Fast forward a year later, the next GITEX, she's already here in the UAE. She has her first job. And I asked her, she's like, yep, from the effort I did around GITEX, and I met a bunch of people. One of them remembered me a few months out, and they put my name in for an interview, and she went through different rounds of interview, and she came here. So if you come into the event with a very specific thing in mind, you can really benefit.
Let's talk about you a little bit. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of GITEX, isn't it? It's lots of different things to lots of different people. But I like the idea of the plan there because it really is. It's mind-boggling as you walk in. Let me ask about you. You are is serial entrepreneur a reasonable phrase?
Yes.
We see that a lot. I can see in your eyes that is true. You're the co-founder of multiple ventures spanning AI, artificial intelligence, Web3 technologies, SME business growth advisory. Go back to the beginning of where this started and that mentality, that attitude that I'm going to do this myself. This is going to be my thing. Where did that come from?
So Tim, it's a combination of different things. I've been fortunate to be in the Emirates since 2010. And the business environment here is done for business. It's open for growth. And being active in the Emirates and putting in the effort, you'll be able to fulfill the ambitions that you want. So one of my ambitions aspect was to properly build the business and to fulfill a certain personal itch of being able to deliver good value to clients and build a solid business model and employ and manage a growing team. That's been something I've been working towards for many years, and it took a while to figure out how to make that work. But I was fortunate enough to do it in a business environment that is open for this. And so to give you an example, the first office I opened up in the Emirates, I said, and then I was asking, so when do you close? He's like, 24/7, 365 days. I was like, look, I'm in marketing as well. So let's be real. End of year holidays, National Day, just, give me the actual dates so that I can work my schedule around. The guy was offended. He looked me straight in the eye. He says, we're open 365 days of the year, 24/7. And that for me was a very clear signal that, look, we're open for business. It's up to you. You want to take some time off and chill and do whatever you want? You can do that. If you want to walk in and do work every day on holidays and end of year and busy period, the infrastructure is here for you to do that. And that was a sign for me that I need to do more in order to properly accomplish and do things here.
Was that the light bulb moment?
Well, it was one of many indicators that I've seen here. So one of the first companies I started was it's a government project delivery organization. Every government organization in the Emirates have KPIs to work towards every year. So they have a strategy to deliver on, and they want to quickly turn that strategy into implementation. And that's where my team and I come in, where we implement the strategy for the government. So some government organizations need some time to ramp up internally to get enough people to implement the strategy, and others, they don't want to in-house this in any case. So we come in with tools, peoples, and processes to help implement and run the implementation of the strategy. And when the government organization has ramped up its employment and wants to bring it back in, we train the team and hand over everything to them.
How easy is that? How straightforward is that now? Because, governments are across the world. This is not a unique situation. Governments are renowned for their bureaucratic processes. Let's put it that way. And I know that Dubai, the UAE, is trying very hard to streamline as much as possible. There are multiple initiatives to talk about that are trying to get government, the government wheels to grind a bit more smoothly. Is it frustrating day to day? How hard is it?
The government organizations in the Emirates, they work faster than businesses do.
Yeah, I hear this.
Let me give you an example. So in Dubai, for example, there are more. So in Dubai and across the Emirates, there are more than 50 chief AI officers in government organizations, and those are at the C level, at the chief organization level. I was having dinner with a bunch of other founder friends of mine, and we were talking about chief AI officers and should they get one or not, and what's the government doing. And then I was clear with them saying, look, if any of you today decide that you want to hire a chief AI officer, it's going to take you easily 6 months to find the right one and within your budget and within what you want to do, and then to ramp up and get their plans. The government, within weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, they're able to identify the right people, to prepare them, to groom them, to find paths for them and implement that. So that's a sign for me of how the government moves faster than the business sector. Second, there's a huge intent of identifying AI use cases for government, and that's why I'm excited to publish our report about this. Is many different government organizations want to create impact with AI. So you have easier AI use cases that you can do with a chatbot and some text and things like this, and there are more impactful ones, and we can talk more about those if you want. And so the government is intentful. It has great intent to identify ways that they can digitize further. They can use AI to simplify things, either for the employees or for people who engage with the organizations. To give you an example, during GITEX, I met with one of the government organizations. All they do is they look at water cleanliness and sanitization, and they sample that at specific intervals. They use scientific labs, they use digitization, they use AI in order to identify anomalies, cleanliness, germs, and things like this. And I look at it, I was like, I didn't know about this before, and I know many other people don't know about this before, that there's a lot that goes in the background to make sure that the water we drink and wash our hands in is clean. So those are examples of how the government can run through things in quite a fast way. And then when they need to go even faster, that's when they look at working with a third-party organization like ours, where they ask us to come in. We're external to the government, but we know the government very well, how they work, their procurement process, their logistical process, and we're able to navigate within that. So when they need to go even faster, they bring in people like us who can work on just outside the government organization, but know the government organization very well, and can come in and out and support and in their implementation as they need it.
Can we talk about particular examples of AI projects at government level? Because it always seems to me that 2 years ago we talked about AI, and AI was, it was a buzz phrase. Let's be completely honest. We're implementing an AI policy into our government agenda, and it was all wrapped up in phraseology. And I was always a little bit cynical, I'll be honest. However, now, when you search for something on the internet, there's usually an AI overview of a question that you may ask. And I think we're all really starting to see where AI is and what AI can offer, even if it's just in basic, simple terms. But it is becoming seamlessly part of our lives. I think that's probably a fair statement to make. And clearly there's much more to come. It's much more than chatbots now. But when it comes to Dubai government, the speed at which Dubai government is able to turn around initiatives, you've kind of pointed towards that. Can you point to any particular initiatives that really jump out?
So the reason the government organization in the Emirates have been able to implement AI at a fast pace and faster pace than other government organizations globally is that a lot of the infrastructure and the groundwork they've been doing since the early 90s.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of digitization that's already been done with mobile apps. A lot of what we do as citizens and residents with the government, we use mobile apps for those and websites for those. So that process is fully digitized. And a lot of that, and also a lot of the interoperability between the different government organizations has already been in place for many years now. So adding an AI layer on top is viable and quick because you already have that digitization aspect of it. Other government organizations in the world, and I keep a very close eye on AI use cases, is they're forced to do two steps at the same time. First, to digitize a lot of existing processes that they haven't digitized in a very long time, or they digitized once a long time ago and they haven't touched it, and adding AI on top. So doing those two together is a lot. It's a bigger chunk, right?
Yeah.
So the same way like getting healthy. You're asking me today to suddenly eat better, work out more, sleep better, have less stress, and you're asking me for too much to do, and to switch on. I have to start one thing at a time to turn my the process around.
The foundations are not there for the integration in many cases, but here they have been put in place, is what you're saying.
And this is why you observe a faster rollout when it comes to that.
Okay. Let me ask, I'm going to ask, I think this is probably a rambling question, but it's something that's in my head. You're smiling, so you play my game.
I'll give you an honest answer, so go deep.
I'm really interested in your thoughts on something. One of the areas listed as I guess it's a core expertise with you, is AI and machine learning. Machine learning is basically old AI, isn't it? Let's face it, machines were kind of good. AI is that step forward. But for governance and competitiveness, and I'm really interested in the governance aspect, because governance, for me, is really based on trust. And it means different things to different people, but if we're all honest, we're all excited about AI, but probably a little bit wary as well, because the basis of AI depends on the person that, the source material, doesn't it? That's really the key to it. Misinformation is everywhere on the internet. We're all kind of aware of that. It's the trust issue that's really the worry. So governance is incredibly important, I think. I just would like to get your thought on that.
I understand where you're coming from, Tim, with that question.
Yeah.
The questions about governance and how
If
reliable
I'm
is
wrong,
information.
tell me. I'm very happy to say that, but there's something in my mind. There's a wariness there. Maybe it's a cynicism. I'm not sure. But the source material for making sure that AI works in our favor, for example, is really important.
So the governance aspect and the AI giving us information that's credible, that's correct, and based on the input that it already has, is definitely a topic to bring up and to discuss. And it depends, I'd say the answer depends on what is it you're trying to do with AI.
Okay.
So, for example, I have a lot of discussions with senior leaders, whether in government and in business. And they tell me, oh, I'm an hallucination AI, and how do I trust what's there, and so on. I look at them and say, look, you have enough experience behind you and your experience to know that, look, there's something not right. The same way when you have a new employee show up and they give you some work, you can smell it. You can smell it very quickly and say, look, this is not, something's off here, something's off there. Go back and do this. Go back and do that.
Okay.
So with many of the answers you'd get with AI, especially if you have enough experience, you'll be able to identify, that something's not right for you to trust it or not. That's one aspect. The second part, with so many AI tools and out of so many different governments and so many different business environments, that brings in different schools of thought. So, for example, Elon Musk is building XAI, his own version of AI with Grok.
Yeah.
And they have ChatGPT by OpenAI and Sam Altman and others. So, small things. I wanted lyrics for a song. So I opened up ChatGPT, which tends to be my default. I said, remind me, what are the lyrics for the song? I got this long message about, oh, I can't, and copyright, and wait, I can't give you lyrics for this. And I opened up Grok. I said, give me the lyrics for the song. It gave them to me.
Right.
Another example is I was in a store and there was a promotion of there was a celebrity. I forgot her name. So I opened up ChatGPT. I said, I took a picture. I said, remind me, who's this person? Who's a celebrity? It's like, oh, I can't identify pictures and so on. I do the same with Grok, and then it gives me the answer. So there are different schools of thought there on this. With Elon, he doesn't care much about many different aspects, and a lot of his personal ethos is available in the tools, including swearing and a lot of there. So what I'm trying to say is, you have many options with AI now, and they're growing, and each have their own different school of thought, their own data that they've been trained on. So you're able to look at which one can serve you better, and that can help address some of the governance issues that are there.
I guess I'm concerned with objective truth, though, really. But this might be a different discussion for now. That's probably
Correct.
a
Objective truth
different
might be a tricky one, 100%.
That's going to be a tricky one. But it's being able to trust where you are, and I guess we trust what we trust, don't we? Is it we pays our money, we takes our choice when it comes to which AI engine that we use, in very simple terms.
I think bias plays a role as well. So if AI gives you an answer that you like, you're going to go with it.
It probably does. Yeah.
Yeah. The same way I know somebody who visits 3 different doctors until they find a doctor that gives them the answers they want.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Well, that's very much the modern age, isn't it? You look great in that outfit, and clearly you haven't looked in the mirror before you've left the house. Look, we've just got a couple of minutes left. Let's look ahead to the next couple of days at Expand North Star. If you were to encapsulate what you hope for from the event, what would that be?
So let's look at Expand North Star, and let's look at GITEX. So Expand North Star, it wraps up today. And a lot has happened over the last few days, and today is the last day for those who really want to go there and benefit from being there, especially that there are so many, everything's there in one plate. Investors, tech businesses, startups, people in industry, people in media, specialist speakers, good events to take part of around the evenings and so on. So
Sure.
There's a lot going on there with this. And then you have Thursdays and Friday left, which is the part of GITEX that continues to remain there. And there's a lot that is still there to happen there. And I know some people who are going in tomorrow with a very specific agenda of things that they have. And also even without an agenda, just walking around and bumping into old friends and people old in the industry that you haven't seen in such a long time. I've been part of those conversations the last few days, like, oh, I know this guy back in 2012, we did this together. Or in 2021, we did this together. So it's very clear that they haven't touched base since then, and GITEX can provide that random encounter.
Okay. Well, I guess some well-deserved R&R is up next for you. It's been a busy few days, I'm guessing. You look remarkably alive and like you've had some sleep, though.
Well, it did take its toll. But yes, today I'm more refreshed than I was a few days ago.
It's been really good to talk to you. Ayman Itani is the founder of Think Media Lab, serial entrepreneur, self-professed serial entrepreneur as well. AI, digital transformation. We got to some of the topics. I had loads of questions for you. Didn't get to them all, but great to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Tim, for having me.
Really appreciate it. This is Mira Business FM. It is is just coming up to the news. In the next half an hour or so, we're going to be talking legal matters on the program with our special guest. The TikTok lawyer, Ludmila Yamalova, will be here at Mira Business FM next.
You're listening